colleague Grant Murrell. Now, Grant Murrell, we've known each other for over 20 years. And in fact, he's one of our master coaches in our company, Mindspace Coaching. And Grant has a wealth of information. He's like no other coach that I've come across, in the sense that he has so many tools and resources as a coach. It's phenomenal. You know, he's qualified in NLP, timeline therapy, business coaching, business systems, marketing. I mean, so when our clients say when they're working with him, it's such a blessing, because whatever they stuck with, somehow he's able to help them, whether it's a subconscious belief or whether it's a mindset issue, or whether it's simply, I just want to grow and scale my business. So he's a business coach, NLP trained practitioner, and master. You'll tell us more about that in a moment. Grant, welcome. Welcome again to the Business Wealth Show. Thank you for jumping on.
Thank you, Mac. Thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here. Really looking forward to it.
You know, thank you, Grant. And generally, I interview other experts in various fields. But what I'm doing today is really speaking to one of our own, Grant, who's been working with Mindspace Coaching and working with our clients, helping them to grow and scale. And just, we're going to have a general conversation around coaching and, you know, what's going on with coaching, what's happening with that, you know, why does anyone need a coach, all this kind of stuff. And how can you use coaching to really grow and scale your business as well? So I'm going to allow Grant to fire away some of these common questions that we've been getting from other coaches and common questions we've been getting from various clients. So Grant, over to you. Fire away. Let's have this conversation.
Thank you, Mac. Well, one of the burning questions was, I mean, as I say, you and I, we've been coaching people for a long time. So over the years, I want to get your perspective, because I haven't asked you this for a while now. Your perspective over the years, the industry, how do you see the industry has changed, the coaching industry, since we began doing this?
Oh, okay. So I've been in the coaching industry now for almost 2 decades. Yeah, almost 2 decades. Yeah, almost 2 decades. And in that time, you know, when I first started off, what you heard, a lot of people didn't know what coaching was, you know, back in 2004, 2005. And it was a new thing. It was a new thing to a lot of people, but it wasn't new in the personal development field. And what has happened over many years is people have attended different programs and realize, hey, actually, I want to be a speaker like this person. Yeah, I want to help people transform their lives. And lots of people have gone and trained as coaches. So nowadays, you'll notice that there are so many coaches. Every person you speak to is a coach of some sort. Why? Because the industry has grown significantly. And I often ask myself, why is the coaching industry boomed so much? Well, think about it. People suddenly are open to the fact of admitting that they need some support or some help. You know, we've had wonderful leaders, practitioners in this field like Anthony Robbins, amongst so many other people, who've been showing people that there is another way to live. There is another way to do your business. There is another way to take care of your health. And so the coaching industry has boomed because people have come to a realization that they want to help and support other people.
I like that. And I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the same, because I remember back in those days, it was a tough nut to crack, and especially in the UK, people weren't open to the whole idea. It was a new idea, and I will see someone tonight on a social basis. I will see someone tonight, and I remember discussing coaching with this guy 20 years ago, and he said, "Who's going to come into my company and show me how to do it?" and I tease him about that now, because actually he's got like a coaching program which he does. It's more like government coaching and stuff. And I always tease him. I said, "Don't you remember you saying that?" But of course he didn't understand it. It's not teaching people what to do. It's not telling people what to do. It's coaching. It's extracting it from them.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So people know what to do. So if people know what to do, why aren't they doing it? Right? And could be various reasons. It's maybe there's some kind of uncertainty. Often there is a lack of accountability, because if you're the business owner, we're talking business because that's what we do. We talk business and wealth and money. So if you're a business owner and no one's holding you accountable, you could put it off till tomorrow, till next month, and a whole year have gone and you haven't really grown or shifted in the way you'd have liked to. But with a coach, and nobody, think about it, nobody really needs a coach. But the moment you say, I want to grow to this level, I want to improve in what I'm doing. So how are you going to get there? If you've never done it before, how are you going to get there? And you may know what to do, but maybe you're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? Maybe procrastination. Maybe your main day-to-day work you're doing is consuming your time, and you're not making priorities for the things that will actually move the needle. So a coach comes in, looks at what you're doing, and you put a strategy to put in place, or put a plan in place, and then follow that. And if it's a good coach, good business coach, they'll also make sure you are reporting your numbers and what we call a sales dashboard. And so by reporting your numbers, what I found, Grant, it just forces people to do the right activities so they don't complain that they don't have enough time to do these other things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mac. It's the numbers, it's that accountability that does it for people. Because people can talk and strategize all day long.
Absolutely.
As we say, the numbers don't lie. And there are signposts, aren't there? There are signposts for success. It shows you where you need a little bit more attention, or where things are going swimmingly well and you can ramp up that activity, or where to change things around. And I think, you're spot on there with what you're saying. It's one of the cornerstones of it.
Definitely.
Mac, I want to get your view on this. And it is, over the years, when you look at all the various clients we've had, when you look at them, and this sort of question was asked to me. I was speaking at a conference recently, and somebody asked me, where do you think that most people get stuck? And that's just a really good question. And I had my view on it, of what I thought. I'd love to get your view on this.
What do you mean get stuck?
Where they get stuck? Where most people need coaching, in what area?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. All right. So here's my view on that then. When you say get stuck, I presume from a business context, they've got stuck in terms of business growth, or things have come to things have stagnated. Now, here's one thing that T.R. Becker taught me years ago. He says this: your business and your wealth can only grow to the extent that you grow. Your business or your wealth can only grow to the extent that you grow. And so when people get stuck, it's because they've really come to a place where they've done what they know. Now, to get to your next level, there is information that you will have to go and gather, some knowledge that you may have to go and acquire. Alternatively, you may say, actually, I don't know how to do this. Let me find a mentor. Let me find an advisor. Let me find a consultant. Let me find a coach who can help me move to that next level. So the other reason why people stagnate, or they get stuck, it's in the same vein, but also it's because they have the lack of knowledge. They don't know how. And the other thing, it's a good question. I'm glad we're having this conversation. The third thing that's popped into my mind is that they live in a field of denial. They deny that things are not where they need to be. And when you're living in a seat of denial, then you are never, ever going to stick your neck out and say, let me try something new. And that denial will be sometimes like, yeah, we're okay. Yeah. And then I ask the question, so how much did you grow last month? What's your profit compared to last year? What's your sales compared to last year? And if you're going backwards, then there's something you didn't know and something you're not doing right. So those are the three things that popped into my mind when you say that there, Grant.
Oh, I like that. And they're slightly different answers to what I gave, actually. I said something similar to what you were saying about, what T.R. Baker had told you about growing to the level of what you are. I was thinking about who you are as a person, who you are. Because every time, we always say, don't we, that every time you grow, there's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I think that every time, and this is something I certainly do myself, I know that every time I go up to the next level in something, I sit there and I'll have what I call a conversation with myself. I sit there and say, okay, Grant, you're going to go up to this level. And are you the person you need to be in order to take on that next level? And I ask myself that. And sometimes the answer is Not quite.
Right.
No, you're not quite. So, okay, so then it's the question of, what do I need to do? Who do I need to become in myself? What kind of habits, what kind of, behaviors do I need to take on board? What kind of disciplines, you said, in order to become that person? And then I go into that. So I think it's partly who do you need to become to grow into that next level?
Yes.
But also, I think a lot of people get stuck in a word with clarity. Clarity. I think how they kind of think, I want to do this and I can't do that, and I think I need, but they aren't clear on the plan. And they need clarity, and I think this is where a coach comes in. It helps you.
Yeah, and this is absolutely, and this is I love what a lot of our clients say about you, Grant. That they say within a short call, Grant helped me to become more clear in terms of our direction and our activities that we need to be doing. And I totally agree with you. Without clarity, it's very, very difficult to know what to focus on. And if you haven't got clarity, and so those who don't have clarity, they try this, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this. And it's so much more difficult. I'll give you an example. In working with one of our clients recently, when they came, the reason why they decided to become a client is this. I asked them a question. They said, well, I'm not getting enough clients coming in. I'm not getting enough leads. And I said, okay, so how are you finding these leads? He says, well, I'll go networking. And when I go networking, then I get into conversations and I go where they are. And this person's in property. And they said, I'm after landlords because I know I can help them. So I said to them, the first thing you need to, I said, well, so what are you saying to these landlords? He says, well, I can help you. I can help you manage your properties. And I can help you to make sure that you're making money from the properties because your estate agents, letting agents are letting you down. And I said, why would they listen to you? And when they came on board as a client, one of the first exercises was this: let's get clear on who your ideal client is. And when I said that, they go, well, it's a landlord. I said, okay, if it's a landlord, what type of landlord? Describe this landlord. And I said, the second thing is I want you to start looking at is, what is this landlord's problem? This property owner, what is their big problem? And they go, well, the letting agents are letting them down. I said, no, I said, when I say what's their problem, what keeps them up at night? What keeps them worried? And he suddenly had this breakthrough. Go, oh, I see what you mean. Then he started networking. And when he started networking, again, after our sessions, his conversation was more around finding the problems that they have and telling them that I can help you resolve that problem. Then his sales started to change and people started listening to it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Well, I mean, it's because you've hit the nail on the head, haven't you, really? Because we are professional problem solvers.
Yeah.
And everyone is. Find problem are, if you find what people's problem is, yeah, they don't want that problem. We can help them find a solution to that. That's magic. And that's what everywhere in life, that's what people want. People have a series of problems, big problems, small problems, different kind of problems. But people pay to have problems fixed. And that's right. And that's
there you go. Hopefully it answers your question there.
Yeah, it has. It has. It's given some more breadth to it as well, and that's what I wanted to get. So thank you for that. That's a really good thing because people are people, and they don't. I think in that essence, that doesn't change over time. People still have the same range of problems.
Absolutely,
and get stuck in the same areas, and that's what we do. So, Mac, you see a lot of coaches, and I have, and as you said, over the last 20 years. There wasn't many coaches years ago, but now everybody's a coach of a sort, it seems. But of course, let's be honest, there's coaches and there's coaches.
Right.
What do you feel? And there's different kinds of coaches, there's executive coaches, business coaches, mindset coaches, holistic coaches, relationship coaches. But irrespective of the genre of coach, what do you think are the attributes from an average coach compared to a world-class coach?
Awesome. Great question there, Grant. An average coach and a world-class coach. People people describe me as a world-class coach, and yourself as well, Tom, yourself as well, Grant. But why? Okay, let me think about what I do to be world-class. One is, I think to be world-class, you have to be extraordinary. You have to be really good at what you are doing. That means you've honed your craft. I've been doing this for almost 20 decades as a coach. So I've seen the patterns. I've trained
20 years,
nearly
20, not 20 decades.
I beg your pardon. 20 decades, I'll be very old. 20 years. I'll be very over 20, nearly 20 years. And so I've seen a pattern. Well, put it this way, I've had the absolute pleasure to travel around the world, train and coach over 200,000 people in over 50 countries. And I see a pattern. And what happens is with average coaches, what happens is they've gone and learned how to coach. And so for them, in the initial stages, it's often theory. They're looking for clients and it's still theory, right? And they're going to go through this model. There's various coaching models and they'll go through that. World-class coaches really have probably practiced so many times and have so many different models that they just focus in on that client. And they know through various techniques, whether it's body language, eye movement, facial expressions, all these things that actually, what is being unsaid? What is not being said right now? And picking up on those cues makes you much better, much more different than the average coach. Because now it's not just about the words that people are echoing to you, but it's more around the things that they're not saying that you have a feeling intuitively that may be holding them back, but they don't want to admit it yet. So very quickly to answer your question, the world-class coach has just been practiced so many times, and I would say more than 10,000 hours if we're going to use Malcolm Gladwell's approach, okay?
Yeah.
Then also they've done it so many times that intuitively they can see what's wrong, whether it's through body language or facial expressions or eyes or whatever. And also a world-class coach has the ability to hold you accountable. See, some people want the change, but they're not coachable. If you're not coachable, don't get a coach. If you are coachable and that coach can hold you accountable, then that's when you start seeing your numbers change, your life change. And I think very quickly, those are the three things that have popped into my mind as you asked that question.
I love what you said there, Mac. I really do. And I think that's a key point. I mean, as you know, body language and all that, and reading people is a big thing of mine. And somebody recently asked me, because we were talking about certain areas, to go to certain geographical areas, and I'll ask you about your background, what makes you different, you know, why should we choose you and stuff. And the one thing I say is that I listen to the message between the words. People are trained to say great things, you know. Right. People go to interviews and they get coached to say the right things. Sure, but how do you know they mean them? And that's where I come in. I look at them and I think, yeah, there was some incongruency with what they said and the way their body behaved. So what's going on? Let's go into that a little bit deeper. Because I think if you can really open people up and get inside. Yeah. Because there's fear. A lot of people are fearful of success, fearful of failure, and fear of ridicule and judgment, all this stuff, you know. But if you can get inside them and really open them up, that's where the beauty is inside people. And that's where their secret sauce is. And I think when you can open that up, you do, and this is exactly the way I do it, is by listening to the message between the words. And
absolutely. Yeah, no, you do that very well. And, you know, these clients have been saying that. And one thing I noticed as well is those business owners, those entrepreneurs who you asked earlier on, who are stuck. Now, the reason why they're stuck, we mentioned already, lack of knowledge, lack of action, no accountability, and the rest of it. But also, if you are stuck, who is supporting you? So if you've grown a business to, let's say, $500,000 a year in sales revenue, but it's been stuck at $500,000 for the last 10 years, that means there's something you don't know. So Who's supporting you getting to 1 million or 1.5 million or 2 million? That's when you need someone like that to support you to break that ceiling, go through those high numbers if you so choose, because otherwise you will be stuck for a long time. And we've had clients like that. We've had clients who've been stuck below 1 million, every year below 1 million, and not moving forward, plateaued. And by being coached by our coaches or by me, they break through that, because suddenly they have the strategies, they have the tactics, they develop the right mindset, and then they're able to go for it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, obviously we love what we do. It's such a pleasure to see people go through those barriers. Like you say, they psychologically, it's either skill set or it's a mindset thing. They get stuck, they get plateaued, and again, lack of clarity. They don't know how to break through.
That's right.
Where you do that, you can scale up the business, and sky's the limit. Mac, I wanted to talk about changes in the industry. Again, we've been in it a lot of time, and yeah, you speak to lots of people. I speak to lots of people, and people would coach, and as we travel around doing what we do with this industry, how do you see the world of coaching changing?
Ooh, good question. How is the world of coaching changing? Well, nowadays you'll hear more. The principles of coaching are still the same. Someone has a problem, and they can't overcome that, or they're stuck. As a coach, you're there to help them to unlock that so they can move forward and get better results. You know, in our type of coaching, it's very much business and money focused. There are other type of coaches who are dealing with health, and they dealing with relationships and all this kind of stuff. All good. The way things are changing now more, what I've noticed, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, there are lots of group coaching formats where you come on with other entrepreneurs or other people, and you get coached in a group scenario. Now that's fine, but if you really want to move forward much faster, we all know one-on-one coaching, you and the coach can speed things up much faster. So the group coaching model seems to be growing more and more, but the results that people are getting is less. In terms of results. So I say to people, do the group coaching, get the idea, get the knowledge, and a lot of these group coaching, there'll be online study all these stuff, start making money or start improving. When you do, as soon as you can afford it, do the one-on-one coaching. Now, the one-on-one coaching, the reason why I bring that one-on-one coaching is this: eventually the group coaching, the online study, will probably be replaced by AI. Artificial intelligence, right? Yeah, and I think that's where things are going, because it's like, it's in a group, the AI can answer the questions. I hope it doesn't go that way, but it ultimately it will go that way. But from a human perspective, at the moment, I think the one-on-one coaching is still going to be there, because it's face-to-face. The AI at the moment, I don't think can go as deep. It's not as touchy-feely yet. So I think things are going that way. But if you're a world-class coach, I think you'll still be in demand. And here's the thing, the way I see things going, I still think the coaching industry is still going to continue growing, right? Yeah. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. When I started, it wasn't a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's grown significantly. And a lot of people who were coaches in those days that I knew are no longer around, because it's either it's a purpose, mission-driven thing, or you just give up. And so when I say the way it's going is that the industry is going to continue growing. That's the way I see it going. But the coaching itself will be more refined, using technology and helping people get the results they want in a more efficient, effective way. But you're still going to need human input at the highest level.
It's a great point, Mac. I love that. And I remember, when lockdown happened, everybody became a coach, and now they kind of wandered back to doing something different or what they was doing before. Some have stayed, but like you say, it's got to be a purpose. It's got to be something in your blood. People often ask me, "Would you do, in your spare time?" And I said, "This happened to me over the weekend." And I said, "Well, I've designed that I love what I do. So I
Sure.
get so much pleasure from what I do. Yes, of course, I've got things I do in my spare time which are not related to that. But, I've designed it so that when I wake up in the morning, I don't think, oh, God. I think, oh, great. I love what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm passionate about people. And you hit the nail on the head there, because I was going to ask about AI. Where do you think AI is going to fit into this? And I had my theory, and you said this may be about group coaching, the generic stuff. Mac, you know me well enough. And if anybody doesn't know this about me, I watch lots of documentaries. I love documentaries, and I look at politics, culture, music, war, even, religion, all these things, art, and see where they map over. And I use analogies in my stories. So I find that would work with all this, and that business model would work out. So something I noticed with music, there's lots of digital recordings that always been around for a long time. It's digital, and there was an artist on TV, and she was saying she had her record cut, made, it was done, it was in the can, it was there, and they just asked Nile Rodgers, originally from Chic, known as the hit master. They say, if you hire him, you will have a hit. If you hire him, and they just, can you just put a couple little bits on top? Just a little couple. It's all done. It's all done. It's all recorded. It's everything. Now he's an analog guy, if you get the analogy. And he came in, and the next day she said, "Is it done?" He said, "No, no, no, oh no, oh no, there's more to do." And she said, "Oh, I thought it was just a couple of little bits." And he just listened to it. He listened to it, and he just put his stuff on top. He just let and done his magic. And she said it transformed the song. She said, "I thought the song was done. It was in the can." He transformed the song, and that's where magic happened. And this is what I said. Yep, AI is going to be great. It does some of the heavy lifting, etc., etc. But the real juicy stuff, the real magic stuff, the lightning in a bottle, that stuff that you just can't quantify, that's where the life coach is going to come in. And that's where they make those tiny little movements, like the combination lock, those tiny little 2 degrees here, 1 degree here. And that's when the safe opens. And the treasure is
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got it. Yeah, I think we're on the same page on that one. The future is exciting. And I think we're going to be wrapping up in a little while. But what I will say is, thank you for your questions here. Those of you listening in, remember to like, share, make a comment, and also subscribe or follow, depending on which channel you are on. And if you're working in your business, maybe you're working too hard in your business, or something doesn't seem to be working. Maybe it's not enough leads coming in through marketing. Maybe you're not closing enough sales. Maybe you can't see how to grow your business. Reach out. Reach out. Mindspace Coaching is there to help and support you. Send me a message, send Grant a message, and let's see how we can support you. All right. Until then, Grant, any last words before we wrap up?
Thanks, Mac. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. It's not often we get a chance to talk in this way about these things, but I think it's really important to help us understand where the industry started, where we came into it, and most importantly, where it's going and where we can help people more. So as Max said, if you've got any questions or comments or want to know how we could help in any way, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you.
Superb. All right. Take care. Much love. God bless. Speak to you all soon. Bye for now.